I will moderator of this panel 2, and allow me to introduce our panelists. Thomas Alsø Christensen, Head of Division, the Danish Agency for Science, Technology, Innovation, Denmark. Yeah. Peter Olesen, President of the Danish Council for Strategy Research, Denmark. Petri Kallioski, Executive Vice President, Strategy and Business Development, VTT Technical Research Center of Finland. Daniel Forsland, Chief Strategy Officer, Vinnova, Sweden. Anton Čižma, Rector Technical Institute of Košice. Marta Cimpaková, Director General, Science of Technology Division, Ministry of Education, Science, Research and Sports of Slovak Republic. This panel is devoted to the area how to create innovation bridges between industry, between companies, between universities, between research institutions. And we want to discuss, we want to share best practice, how to create pro-innovative environments for entrepreneurs, how to create tools, how to involve more entrepreneurs for participation in industrial research, in development of application, and to be part of research generally. We will continue, and just now I want to invite first presenter, Mrs. Marta Cimpaková, representative of Ministry of Education. Please, what is your...
Dobrý deň, vážené dámy a páni. Vypočuli sme si v prvom paneli zaujímavé informácie o tom, ako ktoré krajiny majú nastavené svoje inovačné politiky. Ja pracujem pre Ministerstvo školstva, vedy, výskumu a športu Slovenskej republiky, ktoré zodpovedá za tvorbu a implementáciu štátnej a európskej vednej a technickej politiky. Preto budem hovoriť rada by som hovorila o praktických veciach týkajúcich sa podmienok v Slovenskej republike a motiváciu pre spoluprácu podnikateľov, univerzít a inštitúcií verejného sektora. Legislatívne prostredie Slovenskej republike je podmienené dvoma základnými zákonmi. Jeden zákon je zákon o štátnej podpore výskumu a vývoja, ktorý ustanovuje podmienky a pravidlá pre poskytovanie prostriedkov štátneho rozpočtu, spôsoby získavania grantovej podpory, ustanovil agentúru na podporu výskumu a vývoja, ktorá bola spomenutá pánom rektorom Redhammerom v diskusii v prvom paneli, a spôsoby evaluácie projektov pre získanie grantovej podpory zo štátneho rozpočtu. Samozrejme, spolupráca podnikateľského sektora, univerzít a organizácií verejného sektora. Do organizácií verejného sektora patrí aj 62 vedeckých ústavov Slovenskej akadémie vied. Musia pri spolupráci dodržiavať základné pravidlá dané štátnou pomocou na podporu výskumu a vývoja v podnikateľskom sektore. Ďalší zákon, ktorý vznikol v období hospodárskej krízy a môžeme ho označiť za zákon, ktorý motivuje podnikateľov vykonávať výskum a vývoj, je zákon o stimuloch pre výskum a vývoj. Tento zákon umožňuje poskytovať stimuly podnikateľom za podmienok, že podnikateľ si vytvorí laboratórium výskumu a vývoja, ak ho ešte nemá, alebo rozšíri existujúce laboratórium výskumu a vývoja. Tieto stimuly pozostávajú z priamej finančnej pomoci zo štátneho rozpočtu a z úľave na dani z príjmov. Stimuly môžu byť poskytované podnikateľom všetkých veľkostí, čiže mikro, malému, strednému a veľkému podnikateľovi. Môžu byť poskytované v dvoch základných intenzitách. V základnej intenzite, ktorá je rozlišovaná podľa toho, či sú poskytované tieto stimuly na základný výskum, na aplikovaný výskum alebo na experimentálny vývoj. A tiež je diferencovaná podľa toho, či ide o malý, stredný alebo veľký podnik. Táto intenzita môže byť zvýšená a to je motivujúce pre podnikateľov, ak podnikateľ spolupracuje s univerzitou, spolupracuje s inštitúciou výskumu a vývoja verejného sektora, Slovenskou akadémiou vied, alebo má cezhraničnú spoluprácu alebo spolupracuje s iným malým, stredným alebo veľkým podnikom. Čiže toto sú základné legislatívne pravidlá, ktoré v Slovenskej republike limitujú spoluprácu podnikateľov s univerzitami a s inštitúciami verejného sektora. Stručne o tom, aké je finančné prostredie a nástroje, sú finančné nástroje existujúce v súčasnosti v Slovenskej republike, motivujúce spoluprácu podnikateľov s univerzitami a ústavmi Slovenskej akadémie vied. Sú to programy spomenutej agentúry na podporu výskumu a vývoja. Sú pre vás zaujímavé, alebo mohli by byť zaujímavé dva programy. Jeden je program na podporu výskumu a vývoja v malých a stredných podnikoch a druhý je program agentúry na podporu výskumu a vývoja podporujúci spoluprácu univerzít, Ústavov Slovenskej akadémie vied s podnikateľským prostredím, ktorých výsledkom má byť vytvorenie praktických centier spolupráce. K stimulom pre podnikateľov boli vypísané dve výzvy v roku 2009 a v 2010. Z týchto výziev je v súčasnosti podporovaných 14 podnikateľských subjektov. Ak môžem skonštatovať, všetky podnikateľské subjekty, ktoré požiadali o stimuly, majú zahrnuté v rámci spolupráce univerzity alebo ústavy Slovenskej akadémie vied. Ďakujem vám za spoluprácu. Na ďalšie otázky môžem poskytnуть údaje alebo informácie na mojej e-mailovej adrese. Ďakujem veľmi pekne.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this information devoted to the general government approach to this area. And the second part, I want to ask our guest from North, because we want to share your experience in this area. And first, I want to invite Mr. Christensen, please. Okay, sorry. Mr. Olson.
Yep.
Sorry for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. I've been looking forward to enter into this discussion with our Slovak colleagues. I think we have that in common, being very small countries that strive to survive in the brutal globalization. What I'll do here is I'll try to describe the background for what we're doing in what we call strategic research and innovation in Denmark, or the linking between strategic research and innovation. And here's just a sketch of the total system of funding for research and innovation in Denmark. And as you see, this is a little bit of a complicated story, where we have different councils and funds to do that. But basically, the system is created from left to right, moving from basic research into a kind of value chain or feed chain to innovation on the right side. And also combining funding and political advice on research and innovation issues. And the Council for Strategic Research is placed here right in the middle. This is a reasonable recent structure. We were created back in 2004, and we are now spending around 130 million euro every year on strategic research projects. Of course, we also try to work for a kind of coherence, going from left to right and hopefully also from right to left, because that's a very important connection to make the programs inherent. The other thing I would point out is that, of course, we were put into action because we wanted to divide the public research and innovation system funding to have the classical bottom-up approach, which is the classical research-driven things, but also to have a more top-down strategic dimension. So that's what is behind that, and it means, of course, we are targeted towards promote and advance research with high international impact that is focused on key challenges and which will potentially contribute to increased national economic growth and welfare. And that means, of course, that since it's a strategic top-down, our funds comes from political decisions. That means our budget is decided every year on the Financial Act. And so it's a political determinant here. And we're using two very important success criteria. One is the strategic quality of research and innovation. And that is, we look upon that from a tripartite point of view, meaning that the classical scientific height or merit is only one part. The other part is the relevance to the area, the challenge itself that we're addressing with research. And the third is the presumed effect. That means about what are the players that are involved and what are the processes used. So how can you sort of expect that you will have an effect or impact of doing that research? So these three are equally important when we select projects. The other thing is that we have 4 different success criteria for the projects we want to fund. And one is that they have to be international. We have now international participation, binding participation in more than 80% of our projects. We want to have cross-disciplinary approach because our research is directed towards challenges and should be helping to devise solutions based on new knowledge. So we think that having cross-disciplinary areas working together will improve the chance of getting something that can be implemented. And thirdly, we are very keen on user participation. We need to have participation in our projects from users, and that be private companies, it can be public organizations, it can be municipalities, authorities, etc., which we think contribute very much to the impact that these users are participating in the research. And then fourth of it, which is a kind of default, and that is because we need to include all these 3 success parameters, we need to fund big projects. We don't want to fund small ones because we want to have all these 4 criteria combined in one. We fund in 6 different areas for the time being, where we have program committees for each of them. And as you see here, it's a complicated system, but it's mainly energy and environment. It's individual diseases and society. It's health, food, and welfare. It's strategic growth technologies. It's education on creativity, and it's on transport. And over the time, and still is the picture that the 3 biggest areas that we are supporting are sustainable energy and clean tech, it's health, food, and welfare, and it's clinical research, health, and prevention. Those 3 together take up 2/3 of our budget. So that's the strong prioritization strategically from the Danish side. We see ourselves as the mid part of the the value chain or food chain from independent basic research to more innovation programs and demonstration and innovation programs, taken care by, for example, the Ministry of Technology, the Council of Technology and Innovation, and also some of the sector ministries. But what we try to do is that we want to combine basic research and applied research, and then with user participation. So the basic belief is that we need to transform public investments in research into a kind of growth engine. And we think that for that we need coherence in a kind of interactive process, not just a linear, because we are forced to do it quickly and efficiently. And old-fashioned linear thinking, first you need basic research, then you need applied research, then you need transformation into it. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't give us the competitiveness and the fast movement that we need. So we want to have a kind of interactive development between the links in this chain. The second part is that it works only with private-public partnering. We need to have the users involved. And what is very important also that we have created in a new program, which I will discuss a little bit more in the next panel, is that we want to bring people together in the same programs. We want to have people meeting and joining and starting defining the work already from the beginning. Because having people together, we get knowledge sharing, we get dissemination of knowledge by our feet, not just by speeches and papers, but we work together. So that's the voice of the many again, I think, is important here. We, as I mentioned, we're very keen on international collaboration, which is a priority for us for selecting projects. And as I said before, we already are approaching 90% having binding commitments. We have initiated bilateral programs with Brazil, with China and India. That's the BRIC countries. We think we can learn something from these countries and vice versa. And we are considering South Korea now as the next. It's small initial programs, but it seems to work quite well. We are participating, of course, in all the various instruments under the ERA of the European Commission, the ERA nets, the Article 185 and 169. We're a big spender in the bonus program, the big Baltic Sea cross-disciplinary program. And of course, we also joined the sort of the joint programming activities launched by the Commission and by ERAC, where we today are still active in 9 out of 10 proposals for joint program activities. Joint programming is a EC Commission struggle to get the member states to open their own pockets. And so that's an interesting thing. I don't think we can stay on with 9 out of 10 being a small country, but we'll do our best. I will finish off with the vision that we work with, and that is that whatever we do in linking strategic research to innovation, we should do it within the knowledge triangle, so that we have to take the best collaboration between research, education, and innovation and entrepreneurship. But we also to do it with the right partners. In the triple helix approach, we need authorities, we need universities, and we need companies working together. And that's what we strive for in the program we've set up. And we think that with the 4 criteria, user participation, internationalization, strong prioritization, and cross-disciplinary research and innovation, we have a chance of shifting from a knowledge society to an innovation society, because that's what we need. We can create as much knowledge as possible, but if we don't transfer the knowledge into innovation, we're lost somewhere in the, somebody called it transition, but I would say globalization. We have a special Danish perspective here, having a new government in place, which has put more emphasis on green growth and set some very ambitious strategic targets, like total phase out of fossil energy by 27 years from now. That'll be a hard one. But also a lot of green initiatives, as we heard also from our Norwegian colleagues in the previous panel. We think that research and innovation is the major driver of a future bio-based economy. This is a priority in the Council, in line with the new EU strategy, which is part of the Horizon 2020, and the DK presidency that takes place in the first half of next year. And we're working with a new catalog for research prioritizations in Denmark, and we want to really put emphasis here on all the technology, research and innovation platforms that can drive the future bio-based or green economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I need to understand it was mentioned so many very interesting topics, but I am afraid there will be no time for a discussion, but we will have all day for this. Thank you very much. Just now I want to invite Mr. Petr Koliokovsky for his input.
All right, thanks. And I am coming from implementation side. So VTT is the Technical Research Center of Finland, and we try to implement those policies and strategies Ilkka and his colleagues are designing. So VTT is public research organization, and VTT is organized under the Ministry of Employment and Economy. And a little bit background on VTT. I will actually speak about 3 different topics: globalization, competence development, and entrepreneurship. And a little bit background about VTT. VTT is now 70 years old organization, and VTT's turnover is a little bit less than 300 million euros, and we have in total 3,200 employees, and most of those people are researchers. And VTT used to be quite traditionally organized research organization a couple of years ago, but 2006 we made big reorganizational process for improving our customer orientation and innovation capabilities. And VTT has now a matrix type of organizational model, or even network type of organizational model. In one dimension we have customer needs and customer sectors, and in one dimension we have competencies and different technologies, and each customer sector and customer can use different technologies and things like that. So our business model is multi-technical or multi-technology organization, and we try to encourage and enhance the interaction between different disciplines. VTT is quite customer-oriented organization. In total, VTT has 6,000 customers, and 1,500 of those customers are international organizations and companies. And of course, VTT is quite active in small and medium-sized enterprises as well. And VTT have a lot of different kind of models to collaborate with customers. Of course, we do contract research activities, and we help companies to participate public research programs and European Commission programs. Then there is a rotation of employees between VTT and customer companies, and then we are quite active in spin-off companies and venturing operations as well. And of course, patents and licenses and publications are tools for knowledge transfer to industry as well. And VTT also has a key account management system. So each of our key customers has a dedicated customer manager from VTT side who actually is active in customer interaction all the time. Internationalization, research and innovation is global, that's sure. And VTT is putting a lot of effort to internationalization. And at the moment we have 3 research units outside Finland. One is located in Korea, that's focusing on electronics and ICT. One is located in Brazil, that's focusing on biorefineries and forest industry. And one is in Berkeley campus area, and that's in industrial biotech. And the reason is that we have to be in those innovation hotspots where competencies are developed. And of course, VTT tries to connect our customers and our partners to those different innovation networks. So innovation is must. And beside of those research units, we also have some network and sales and marketing offices abroad. A couple of words about competence development. VTT has been technical organization, and I am not going to the details because this is quite complex map of our technologies and competencies, but the only thing I would like to address is that in the future we have to develop competencies and be more active in non-technology areas as well, like business models, services, human technology interaction and things like that. So we are putting effort on competence development in non-technical areas as well. Then a couple of words about our venturing activities, and VTT's patent portfolio is not so big. We have in total around 1,500 patents in our portfolio, but we have been quite active in venturing operations after we made that organizational change 2006. We have a small venturing unit, and then we also have a venturing organization called VTT Ventures. And VTT usually set up 3 to 5 spin-off companies in a yearly basis based on VTT's IP or joint IP with our customers. And we have a small seed fund, 3 million euros, that we use as a seed funding to those companies in a couple of phases. And of course, we are looking for venture capital funding as well. And at the moment, we have 20 companies in our portfolio. And then one model we have implemented 2 years ago is called Entrepreneur in Residence. And the basic idea behind that model is that we hire external people and external entrepreneurs to work for us from 3 to 6 months. They are coming to VTT's payroll, then they check our IP, build up a business plan and develop a team, and if that's a successful case, then they spin that out from VTT's portfolio. And usually those entrepreneurs act as CEOs of the companies, and VTT's researchers are moving to technology positions and things like that. And that has been quite a successful model, and nowadays we got a lot of requests from the industry and business people that do you have any interesting technology and ideas in your portfolio, and that's quite practical example. And some other lessons learned from our transition process, globalization, I already said that, but then one important thing that was also mentioned in the previous presentation is that we should get rid of that kind of linear innovation process thinking and should move to the parallel innovation process and include business development and business thinking in the early phases of research activities, because in that phase you can actually really affect that what kind of research results we will get and what kind of market validation we can get. And of course, expanding the innovation horizon beyond technology. I was already mentioned that new collaboration models between industry research organizations and universities, and of course incentives for commercialization and backup plans if the business fails. In VTT's case, if our scientist is going to the spin-off company, he or she can come back to VTT if the business fails. So that's some kind of backup plan for the scientist. Okay, but that was my short introduction, and VTT's mission is to create business from technology.
Thank you very much, and now I want to invite Mr. Forslund.
So, good day to everyone. Nice to be here. And I will try to present some ideas and some key messages from the Vinnova, which is the Swedish governmental agency for innovation systems. So we are the innovation agency of Sweden. So the ambition for Vinnova as an agency is to work to move from just innovation to implementation and try to stimulate change in society, try to stimulate entrepreneurship and renewal of Swedish society. Let's see if I can get this to work. Oh.
Switch that off because
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
that was a practical joke.
So we are always collaborating in the Nordic area. As you heard from my previous Finnish colleague here, we are always competing between Finland and Sweden to be the most innovative country, so this is a part of that. So, sustainable growth and also benefits for society is what we are trying to achieve, and also combine societal change and benefits with growth, sustainable growth for both companies and for the public sector. Just to give you some figures about how we invest in innovation in Sweden. Vinnova as an agency has about 2 billion Swedish crowns, which is about 220 million euros, which we invest in different projects and development research projects in Sweden. We also are a front runner when it comes to investments globally. As you heard before, we are almost always in the top 3 when it comes to investments in innovation and research. But that is not something that has to be that way all the time. So we are struggling now to really maintain that high position when it comes to innovation and to be more innovative also how we organize our policies for research and innovation in Sweden. And as you can see, the higher number here, 112 billion Swedish crowns, which is about 12 billion euros, is invested every year in research and innovation in Sweden. So it's a high number. Very much of that is also driven by our large companies, combined then with the lower number here on the governmental side. So how can we as a governmental agency support this innovative system we have in Sweden, and also how should we interact with public and private actors in Sweden? Well, we do invest a lot of efforts both in product development to have new innovative products available from the private sector. We also invest heavily in services development, both e-services and regular services from both the public and the private sector. Here we also have, from a public side, we are struggling also to modernize the welfare sector to make that more accessible for citizens, where we also try to find new ways of using technology, for example. It's also about working with innovative processes, organizational change in companies, to stimulate companies to grow, to develop organizations also internally in the public sector, in healthcare, for example, or in the welfare sector at large. So our ambitions are very much driven by the societal changes in Sweden, and also the pressure we realize from global changes when it comes to internationalization and so on. So what we are trying to do, as I mentioned before, is to combine the benefits for society with business opportunities for the Swedish private companies. Our main ambition in our endeavor to strengthen the innovative capacity of Sweden is to connect, catalyze and facilitate for all the actors now working with these kind of measures. So our agency is also providing a platform for cooperation between the public and private sector. We are actually the only government agency who can also support publicly funded research, for example, which is prohibited from other government agencies. And to do that, we also have to work as a team. As many of my colleagues here have stated, we have to improve our teamwork between the different parts of the innovative society here. We work closely to the universities and research institutions, as we always have, but we have also broadened our scope to have a very strong involvement from the private sector with especially small and medium-sized companies, but also with other governmental agencies, with our healthcare regions, with local municipalities, to also strengthen the change process in the public sector, where we also believe that a stronger influence of private companies involved in the public domain can be a force of renewal and change in the public sector. We also, when we evaluate projects and see if they are viable for new grants, we also are very keen on the involvement of end users. For example, in the healthcare sector, which is my domain, we are a very strong proponent of including, for example, doctors, nurses, the organizational staff in the healthcare sector, together with private companies and the public administration, to really build a dynamic cooperation on how to change and how to use the innovations that we are achieving. So what we are doing is actually to move from only focusing on specific technologies or specific actors or sectors, but rather to see what challenges and opportunities are there, also to challenge society to develop new tools and new ways of solving these new challenges to society. So that could be future information technologies, it could be future healthcare, how do we reach a competitive production, and so on. And how we work to reach that is, as I said, to involve the end users extremely early in the process. They should be a part of even forming a new innovation program, for example. We have also we are trying to stimulate existing ideas from different parts of society. For example, environmental, health, sustainable cities for the future. We are trying to combine those areas into new ways of collaborating. We are also striving towards having a very open and transparent process when we do this, to really inform about the possibilities to think in a new way, to reach new ways of working, for example, in society. And we have also been launching a new way of funding projects, because Vinnova is also changing when we are now focusing much more on how to reach implementation and use of innovation than to only stimulate innovations as such. And that is also that we try to stimulate as many projects as possible in the beginning, but when also if they are not viable for actually providing benefits, we can also end them earlier. And that's my last picture here is just to show you our financial model here for the future is that in the baseline we are trying to push as many projects forward as possible, but only them who can actually provide proven value for society or for sustainable growth, they will also reach the second level where they will be supported for grants for development and even further grants for reaching implementation and broad use of those innovations. So that's the model for Vinnova as the governmental agency of Sweden. So I think I'll end my presentation there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Koslund. And just now I want to invite Professor Čižmar for his input, because we want to share experience from North countries, but we need to say that we are not in green field. And Mr. Professor Čižmar is a great example for this. What is your, please?
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies. I'm also very pleased to be here. I thank the organizers for inviting me to this conference. At the same time, I would like to thank to Mr. Juraj Podhorský, a Slovak ambassador to Finland, who did his very wonderful work during our trip to Finland. We learned a lot. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, actually. With regard to the topic of this panel, I decided to choose the following title of my presentation: University-Industry Collaboration at the Technical University of Košice, with such a subtitle: We are not bad, but we want to be better. Why such a subtitle, or what is the message of my presentation? In the first part of my presentation, I want to inform you how we are prepared and what we have achieved in the various fields at the university. I will present and comment the description of the institutional framework for the innovation-driven approach and the latest development in the field of university-industry collaboration and technology transfer. This part is represented by the subtitle, We Are Not Bad. And at the end of my speech, I will address some challenges open for the discussion, how to find some new ways in order to accelerate the innovation initiatives. This correlates with the subtitle, "What we want to be better." And now let me show you the chart, classical chart, which represents or describes the basic roles of the university from my point of view. I would like to draw your attention especially to the following three boxes: R&D, education, and box of transfer of technologies. Certainly we don't have to talk much about the R&D and education boxes, which are the traditional pillars of almost each university. Therefore, and also with regard to the topic, I turn my attention to the box of transfer of technologies. The entity, or I would say the business unit that encompasses all processes, activities, initiatives in the field of technology transfer at the Technical University of Košice is UCIT, or UCITT. One remark: by explaining the following slides, I would like to convince you that we at the university have a very clear conception about the organization, structure, and about all processes engaged in technology transfer, and in such a way, step by step, we are creating the whole mosaic about it. So, what does the acronym UCITT mean? UCITT is University Center for Innovation, Technology Transfer, and Protection of Intellectual Property Rights. Its main aim is the developing of services able to ensure required performance of R&D activities, collaborative projects, transfer processes, etc. Below, we can see the various kinds of other services which fully support, for instance, development and establishment of relevant spin-off and start-up firms. So again, UCIT is something like the umbrella or university technology transfer of technologies platform. After a couple of months of intensive and collaborative work, we have created a very, very exact value chain model of this unit, as well as network structure of this unit. Please notice its hierarchical structure from bottom to up, where particular layers mirror, for example, autonomous units, R&D, faculty levels, university level, and external business environment level. Here we can already see the full version of the UCITT portal with either existing entities or the entities to be appeared or created later. What I want to say by this portal? By this portal, I want to emphasize that we do nothing accidentally at the university. On the contrary, we do almost everything on purpose. I want to show you that everything has its position and its mission, and that we are ready to exploit each opportunity to get support for each of these entities in the portal. And now I would like to very briefly introduce at least some of them. Technicom is the first one. Technicom is the science and technological park at the university and is one of the most important units in the UCITT structure. One of its missions is to be an incubator for high-tech companies and spin-off start-up initiatives. Here we can see three pictures. From left, the foundation stone laying ceremony of the Technicom, the actual state of the building in the middle, and the final picture of the Technicom, on the right. WUKONZE is another unit in this portal. Another very important part of the UCITT is Centrum WUKONZE, which means a research center for efficient integration of renewable energy sources. The main R&D activities are oriented to biomass utilization, solar energy, hydrogen utilization, geothermal resources, smart low energy building, or intelligent control system, to name at least some of them. Very recently, another very important project has been launched, Competence Center for Knowledge Technologies Applied at Innovation of Production Systems for Industry and Services. This center consists of 10 partners, 3 universities and 7 industry companies. The partners are mainly from Eastern Slovakia region, but we have their partners from Žilina region as well as Bratislava region. Our university is the project coordinator of these activities. Another unit, Perspective Center. Very good results has been achieved by people from development and realization workplace of raw materials, extracting and treatment. This unit is a member of FP7 large project, Intel Mine, which consists of 23 important mining companies and research institutes, including 4 universities. There are also participants from Nordic countries, Sweden and Finland. Even project coordinator is from Sweden. Another layer is the layer of faculties and departments. And one of the important outcomes of this initiative is joint university industry laboratories. Here we can see at least some of the joint university industry laboratories at the university. Because of the time pressure, I will not go into detail. Center of Excellence. The most active scientific teams at the university are grouped in the Center of Excellence. We have created 5 Centers of Excellence at the university in the following areas, like information and communication technologies, gaining and processing of earth resources, progressive building, structure, materials and technologies, development of production and products in mechanical engineering, or progressive materials and technologies in optoelectronics. Košice IT Valley. Košice IT Valley Association is one of the most success stories in Košice. The basic questions are why, who, when, and what. Why? Eastern Slovakia desperately needs to improve the quality of life of its citizens and to make the region more attractive, especially for young people, for young graduates of the universities in order not to leave this region. Who? The triple helix model is a perfect model for Košice IT Valley because this association integrates all the major players, which are regional and local government, universities, and business communities. When? In the year of 2006, 10 founding members founded this association. 2 universities, our universities and sister university of Pavla Jozefa Šafarika in Košice, Košice region government, and 7 ICT companies like T-Systems, NES, Siemens, VSE, Cisco System, Slovak Telecom, and Microsoft. And what? At present, this association consists of more than 30 members, and during the existence of this association, also thanks to the activities of this association, in the region have been created more than 4,000 ICT jobs. Okay, I am already finishing my presentation. As I said at the beginning of my presentation, we are not bad, but we want to be better. I see this conference, Nordic Slovakian Innovation Forum, as another opportunity to learn how to be better. Which are the main challenges and what we can learn from the experiences of our foreign partners? Some of them are depicted here at this chart. Of course, we need international know-how, but we also have to know that not each model from abroad can be implemented immediately in Slovak environment. What we crucially need is to totally change the university culture focused to innovation. We need it, really. Of course, we need to prepare students for innovation leadership, as well as better commercialize our innovative ideas. Of course, we need improve to improve public update, because sometimes I feel that people who should encourage us or support us or to foster us are fighting against us. We need venture capital, financial support. Maybe we need Porsche effect at the university or to the competition of Slovak idol in innovation. Why not? To improve the activity of our young colleagues at the university. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Immediately we will continue because panel discussion is about discussion, which is why I am opening discussion for all audience. Your question, please, to the panelists, to the great panelists and great topics was opened. No question? Please.
Dobrý deň, moje meno je Zvrškovec. Ja som prezidentom skupiny Dividend Group. My na Slovensku sme investovali možno do 80 malých a stredných podnikov. A inovácia, hlavne aplikovaný výskum, je jedna zo strategických úloh v týchto podnikoch. 20 rokov chodíme po slovenských univerzitách a hľadáme partnerstvo na tie zámery, ktoré potrebujeme na udržanie konkurencieschopnosti. Našim hlavným problémom je, že dodnes sme na Slovensku nevideli, že by slovenská organizácia, v tomto prípade Ministerstvo školstva zodpovedné za vedu a výskum, dokázalo definovať ciele strategického výskumu alebo relatívne výhody slovenského poznania v danom období. Po 20 rokoch sa nám konečne podarilo zapojiť sa do 2 projektov z tých 14, ktoré fakticky Ministerstvo školstva administruje. A našim partnerom je Slovenská technická univerzita. Dúfame, že to dobre dopadne. Problémom Slovenska dneska, ako to my vidíme, není problém spolupráca so škandinávskymi krajinami v oblasti vedy a výskumu. Máme 10 škandinávskych inžinierov, pracujeme so švédskymi univerzitami, švédskymi podnikmi, máme norských profesorov v procesoch. S Fínskom a s Dánskom máme relatívne malý vzťah. Neviem, prečo to tak je, ale dúfam, že sú iné podniky, ktoré s Fínskom a s Dánskom majú širšie rozvinutú spoluprácu. Mňa zaujala tá platforma VTT z Fínska, pretože to je platforma, kde vlastne štátne investície sú odvážne v tom rozsahu, že vidíme nejakú korporáciu medzi priemyslom a verejnými prostriedkami. Mne sa to vidí ako veľmi, veľmi správna cesta v porovnaní s tým, čo tradične vidíme napríklad vo Švédsku, kde štátna inštitúcia Vinnova síce podporuje vedu a výskum, ale nie je aktívnym hráčom v tejto oblasti. Treba si priznať, že na Slovensku je veda a výskum, a teraz hovorím o perspektíve podnikateľskej. Pred 2 rokmi, a teraz je zaujímavá tá situácia, na Ministerstve hospodárstva Slovenskej republiky bol najvýznamnejší projekt skladací bicykel. To je tragédia tejto malej krajiny, že my skutočne nemáme inovačnú stratégiu a nemáme nástroje v Slovenskej republike, ktorá by túto inovačnú stratégiu dotiahla do konca. A tie inštitúcie, ktoré sú zodpovedné za distribúciu prostriedkov medzi malými a strednými podnikmi, nemajú kvalifikáciu na takúto distribúciu. Keď to je jeden z obrovských problémov, a čo by sme my ocenili z podnikateľskej sféry, keby škandinávskej krajiny ponúkli administratívne procesy slovenským inštitúciám, ktoré v tejto oblasti pracujú. Ja som sa napríklad po 20 rokoch dneska dozvedel, že Slovenské ministerstvo školstva disponuje priamymi prostriedkami pre tie podniky, ktoré realizujú výskum a vedu. My sme kúpili jeden z podnikov, Výskumný ústav Náradia na Slovensku, ktorý je v privátnych rukách, možno jediná výskumná inštitúcia, ktorá konkuruje so 60 štátnymi výskumnými inštitúciami. My máme za sebou 30 000 patentov, vynálezov rozličného typu a my ich aktívne uplatňujeme. Ale nedá sa povedať, že by tým privátnym sektorom a verejnou správou na Slovensku existoval nejaký vrúcny vzťah. To musím povedať a to je tá naša skúsenosť. A ocenil by som fakticky hlavne tú administratívnu podporu tým slovenským verejným inštitúciám, ktoré distribujú verejné prostriedky. Ďakujem.
Thank you very much, but may I ask, what can you underline, what question to the panelists, or it was the only information?
Ja by som chcel, tá moja otázka je, že či škandinávske krajiny v rámci toho hľadania partnerstva sú ochotné ísť prvý krok a hľadať partnerstvo v oblasti inštitucionálnej a distribučnej, meranie produktivity distribúcií peňazí, pretože my distribujeme takisto nemalé prostriedky na Slovensku do vedeckých inštitúcií, ale merateľnosť výsledkov práce slovenských inštitúcií je nízka. A druhou oblasťou je, či my nepotrebujeme dneska, určite nepotrebujú slovenské malé a stredné podniky cestu, alebo my cestu do Škandinávie k malým a stredným podnikom nájdeme. My takisto sme aktívni na škandinávskych univerzitách v konkrétnych projektoch. Čo ja osobne si myslím, že je otázka moja, či by škandinávske verejné inštitúcie tohoto typu podpory vedy a výskumu boli ochotné podať administratívnu ruku tým slovenským inštitúciám, ktoré túto rolu nesú na Slovensku.
Thank you. Who want to answer or comment? Yeah?
I can say something from VTT's side. VTT's model is quite good and is working quite well in Finland. VTT is some kind of mediator between universities and companies, and of course VTT gets objectives from the ministry that how we should actually act in that phase. We don't have so much collaboration with Slovakia, and I only know a couple of your organizations, but tomorrow morning we will meet a couple of people, university and funding organizations, so let's hope that we can collaborate in the future more, and if VTT's model is interesting, of course we can tell a little bit more about that, and VTT has been some kind of benchmark globally in collaboration with industry and universities.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Christensen?
As mentioned by Professor Olsen, this is one of the criteria when we allocate money for Danish institutions that there's internationalization activities involved. So this is very important. I don't have an overview of collaboration between Danish institutions and Slovakian institutions, but we are very much interested in collaboration. All analysis shows that collaboration, cross-border collaboration, also increases export opportunities and increases transfer of knowledge between countries, and this is very important. We have, like Finland, a system, VTT systems called the GTS in Denmark. I don't know why we have another abbreviation, but anyway, GTS, we will talk about this system later today. But here we have 9 institutes, and they are present all over the world, 4,000 foreign customers a year in our system, and I'm sure that there are a lot of customers also in Slovakia Republic, and we are currently evaluating these also because we want them to have even more collaboration with other European countries. So we would be aware of the possibilities in Slovakia after today. And then I just want to mention that we have actually also invited Slovakia and other countries in Europe to participate in collaboration on clusters and innovation networks. And we just made the report last week. This report came where we analyzed 447 cluster organizations, mainly in Germany, Poland, and the Nordic countries. But we also invited other to participate. Sorry if this information did not come to you. The report also contained 16 cluster and network programs from 9 countries, which could be interesting for you to read, because this, and here European Union supports with extra money for collaboration between the different countries. I don't think Slovakia is involved in this, these calls currently going on for the moment, but this could surely also be of interest for you.
Thank you very much. Some comments or more questions from audience? Okay. Yeah, please.
Just one comment on the issue of technology transfer, because that's one of the very debated issues around the world, and every country has tried to make big TTOs, etc., etc. But we all see that this is associated with a lot of difficulties, not least because of barriers that are created in one way. But I think we've seen in Denmark at least that we get the most efficient technology transfer by active collaboration between companies and universities or other research institutions, either funded by the Council for Strategic Research or the Foundation for Advanced Technologies, where we have centers or we have more, let's say, bilateral projects. And there we see much greater degree of technology transfer than via the sort of public TTOs. And what I learned from the introduction in this panel, that here in Slovakia you have a legislation and funding in place where you can support companies in doing that. So I think that's a very important way forward. I would be a little bit envious on you because we don't have that so much in Denmark, so please go on with that.
Okay, thanks for comments. Question for audience, to the panelists? Okay, if no, I want to say thanks to all because it was present very interesting topics. We know that innovation and cooperation between industry and universities and the research institutions is very complex topics, and it's not possible to answer during one hour. We will do wrap up in the end of this day. That is why we are not finalized just now with discussion. Thank you to participation, and we will continue after the break. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the panelists. If you allow me, actually, as we are, due to the very interesting discussion behind the schedule, I would kindly ask you if we could continue without a break to the third panel. Okay? No objections? Thank you very much. So we'll continue with the third panel. So I will kindly ask the panelists of third panel